think this small town sheriff has got the right idea.
Be suspended. They're not going to be expelled. Or like in the old day, they're not going to have the cheeks of their ass torn off for not doing right.
Brevard County, Florida has been deemed one of the most violent areas for schools in the nation, which, by the way, I think is a little bit hyperbolic considering the fact that there's New York City, there's Chicago, there's Philadelphia. We just got through doing a video on Philadelphia 2 days ago, and the actual convenience store owner who has hired armed security to not only protect the patrons, but also to protect employees, which, by the way, doesn't really have many. So, yeah, it's mostly for patrons. I just figured I'd go ahead and get that out of the way. Now, guys, this video right here is going to be talking a lot, not just about the clip itself, but the actual media reaction. And we're also going to be discussing school violence at large. So make sure you guys stick around for the full video. There's also going to be a couple of updates in the video towards the end, which, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and kind of touch on a very small amount now. It has to do with Rumble. Now, there is this set of clips that I've got here that are not in video form of a fight that took place recently. If you go to Twitter, you will see that the violence in schools has ticked up, and you will notice an actual phenomenon, which, by the way, I cannot mention here, or else I will be at some point in time demonetized or deplatformed or possibly booted off the channel for even mentioning it. But you guys will see in the actual photos and clips, and of course, you're probably thinking to yourself, why not put it on Rumble? Well, because we're going to go ahead and wait till the first year to actually fully start transitioning all the anti-SJW takes. Just figure I'd go ahead and get that out of the way, but we'll talk more about it towards the end of the video. Now, here's the deal. This police officer, this deputy sheriff, he is, it's actually the county sheriff. This clip that he had went completely viral, and we will actually view the entire clip because I personally think he's got the right idea here. With that right there being said, let's go ahead and roll this, and let's talk about exactly what's actually been going on in Brevard County, Florida.
No, nothing's going to happen to them. They know they're not going to be given after-school detention. They're not going to be suspended. They're not going to be expelled. Or like in the old day, they're not going to have the cheeks of their ass torn off for not doing right in class. So we have teachers that are handcuffed. We have principals that are handcuffed. And I will tell you, and I've said this many times before, we got to get to these kids before they get to me here at this jail. And so starting right now, it's a brand new day, folks. It is a brand new day where school discipline is going to be put back in place in Brevard Public Schools. We have a school board that stands behind this. We have our teachers union that stands behind it. I can tell you that our team, all the way from the state attorney, from school district security, to the principals, to the teachers, we're all tired of this, disruptive.
Now, really quick, basically all the sheriff is saying, and of course the media reaction from people like Joy Reid on MSNBC, which, by the way, they're not even NewsGuard certified anymore, so don't even take MSNBC serious. Fox News is not either. I just figured I'd go ahead and throw that in, which I think Fox News is getting back, but that doesn't really matter here. Here's the deal. School violence is getting out of hand, and you guys can base this, you can point to many myriad of factors, whether it be bullies, whether it be the culture, or whether it be the woke school curriculum. Now, guys, you're probably thinking to yourself, Florida, but there's no way in hell it's actually woke. There's no way in hell it's woke at all. Well, Brevard County, right around Orlando, is kind of liberal. It's like the one area of the state that DeSantis did not win. And I know some people are going to be saying, well, where the hell is DeSantis at on this? I don't think it's gotten to the gubernatorial level yet to actually take care of. I think that DeSantis would more than likely allow the county sheriffs and the school system to try to, I don't know, maybe take care of this issue before it went all the way up to the top of the chain. I just figure he's actually doing that. And by the way, at this moment in time, I don't blame him for doing it. You need to let some people actually rule their own areas and kind of, govern that themselves. But here's the deal. This particular school district has had roughly 40 to 50 teachers have resigned. Now, you may be thinking the woke school curriculum. However, I don't think that right there is the case because they did recently have an election where that actual district did flip. I think the biggest reason why teachers are leaving is because, well, you've got a lot of unruly students who are going absolutely crazy. Now, the clip we'll be showing you here shortly is not from this actual school district, but I'm pretty sure you guys will get what I'm actually saying. Now, basically, what the sheriff is saying is, look, let's go ahead and try to take care of this issue now before we have to take care of them here at the actual big house. Of course, as I've said before, MSNBC, you even got TYT, and we'll be bringing them up in tomorrow's set of videos because there's a piece on Vice that we need to go over. The thing is this right here. These people have already jumped to conclusions saying crazy redneck sheriff. He wants to bring back the old way of justice because he talked about clapping cheeks, of course, talking about the paddle. And even though I'm not entirely okay with teachers actually paddling students, I do believe that parents need to crack down. Of course, that right there can be a belt. It can be grounding, whatever the hell works, because obviously what parents are doing today is not actually working, and we've got more school violence as a result of this. Now, the thing is this right here. You could say that bullies. Okay, well, let's talk about bullies for a second. Many people have tried to say that bullies are a product of their actual environment and that bullies come from mostly from broken homes. Okay, I agree with some of that. However, there's a problem with this statement. There are bullies everywhere. Okay, they are everywhere. You get bullies at work, you get bullies right down the road from you, you get an actual bully that will actually be over you throughout the remainder of your life. Now, you can take one or two measures. You either A, can go tell somebody and have them fix the issue for you, which by the way is just a temporary fix, because guess what? This issue will come back up in another form, whether it be another bully or the same bully who continues to actually stalk and harass you, or you can actually stand up for yourself. Now, YouTube, I'm not advocating for violence or anything like that right there. I'm advocating simply for self-defense. Do not start anything and there will not be anything, but at least learn to protect yourself, at least learn to defend yourself, or learn to actually resolve these issues. And a quick last point on bullies. Bullies can come from anywhere, as I've mentioned before. I know people who were bullies that come from suburban environments. I know people who were bullies that come from relatively well-off environments. They can come from anywhere, so it's not just broken homes. Fact of the matter is that when you're dealing with bullies, you need to actually stand up for yourself and actually use some form of self-defense, which, by the way, we're going to go ahead and talk about that aspect now. Now, guys, I am showing you some photos of let's just say an incident where a boy, you're probably seeing a guy who had glasses. Like I said, I'm just rolling you the actual clips themselves, the photos that I actually took. I'll try to leave the video in the actual description box of this video here. And by the way, I'm just using this as an example. The boy in the hooded sweatshirt basically ran up on the guy with glasses. White kid, and of course he was there, I guess, with his girlfriend trying to protect her. It could have been his sister. We don't really know the full details. But we did see the actual fight. He started beating on this guy. He attacked the guy with the glasses. The guy with the glasses eventually did defend himself. He got the guy on the ground, mounted him, and actually proceeded to whoop his ass. However, while he was whooping his ass, four of the other guy's friends, they decided to jump him from behind. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what would I have done in that situation if I was the boy who was getting attacked? Well, I probably would have just kept on punching. Maybe I could have got up and actually fought everybody. That does not actually work. There's not very, very many people out there, unless maybe your name is Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre or Bruce frickin' Lee. You're not going to take that many people out at one time. So obviously, at best, you can defend yourself. However, at the end of the fight, and you probably already saw the clip just now, the boy that was actually mounted got up and started punching the boy while he was on the ground. The guy who was trying to break things up, another kid who quite frankly was bigger than the others, he stepped in to obviously try to break it up, but obviously it occurred a little bit too late. Now, the boy in glasses, what do you think happened to him? He can walk away with some level of pride saying, I've defended my girlfriend. However, did the school do anything to punish the other four boys, including the one who started it? You see, me personally, I think the boy who started it, his punishment should be a little bit more than a suspension, which quite frankly is nothing more than just a good old-fashioned vacation. I think, if anything, he needs to take a trip down to the jail and he needs to actually see exactly what his life is going to look like if he actually was to ever be locked up. This, by the way, goes back to what the deputy sheriff said earlier. We need to go ahead and take care of this. We need to go ahead and get involved in our kids' lives before you guys have to send them to us someday, meaning being in the jail, meaning that all kinds of bad things could happen, meaning that their lives themselves could be absolutely ruined. As in regards to the decision that they made in high school or middle school, you need to go ahead and take care of this issue now before we have to take care of it. By the way, prisons can also be one or two things. They can actually be a place where a criminal may get an education for later on, which if that is the case, then obviously that means the person that got locked up was obviously messed up to begin with and was probably beyond saving at that point. Or they can actually correct things. You see, I am a big-time proponent of crime and punishment. However, I am also a big-time proponent of situation dictates. That right there will be videos at a later time, but just know that I am very, very much in favor of the death penalty. Obviously, for assault, that would obviously be a little bit too extreme. I'm not going to entertain that. But basically, the point is this right here. We need to actually start doing some actual parenting and actually raising our kids the right way, so that way they don't jump some guy who's just simply sitting right beside his girlfriend. Now, even if the guy had said something to piss off the other boys, it still does not warrant a 4 and 5 on 1 beating. And as you guys have already seen, the boy in the glasses, the one who was defending himself, actually got the better of the boy who would eventually lay 3 or 4 cheap shots on him before actually leaving. That right there is a good old-fashioned act of coward. So, parents, please, okay, if you cannot physically do it yourself, okay, if you got the money, take your kids to somewhere like, say, wrestling. Teach them how to wrestle. Teach them how to defend themselves. Teach them how to not only defend themselves with wrestling, teach them boxing, teach them karate, taekwondo. Judo is perfect. It's throws, it's holds. Teach them that right there. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is mostly on the ground. I'm not trying to knock Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I know somebody in the comment section may say you're knocking it. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a great thing to learn, but for the most part, we get the impression that it's a ground type of fighting. I don't really know a whole lot, so if you want to beat me up in the comment section and give me some information that I don't know, then please go ahead and do so. Either way, though, it is a good art to learn, but teach them something basic like, say, judo, throws, defense, the ability to actually defend themselves, good old-fashioned street fighting, wrestling, definitely in particular. Teach them that stuff right there so that way your kids can defend themselves, because we're seeing more and more and more of these incidents where kids, and like I said, you will notice the phenomenon if you continue to look into them, which obviously falls back on the parents and the actual environment. But please teach your kids to do that so that way they can know how to fight. And also something else too, teach them how to defend themselves with actual words too, so that way they can know how to handle situations before situations get worse. As I said before, bullies come and go. Just because you have the same bully, you resolve an issue with one, that does not mean that one will not come up in the future. So just figure I would go ahead and get that out of the way. Now, with that rather being said, let's get back on the topic of the school district. I know that part right there was a little bit too long, but let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, I'm going to show you some footage from the actual school board meeting that they had here recently to kind of give you guys a better understanding of what's actually going on. As I said before, it's not just woke school curriculums, it's students that are quite frankly just out of hand. They're just too uncontrollable. You can't really anticipate what they're going to do. And a lot of them are actually physically attacking the teachers. Now, guys, regardless of what a person's persuasion is, regardless of what a person's, I don't know, way of life is, or how they think politically or anything, that does not justify the reason to actually assault somebody, especially if you are a student. You should not be assaulting a teacher. As a matter of fact, there are actually videos, and you can find them on Twitter, and you can find them just about everywhere, of teachers getting attacked by students to have other students come in and hit the students back to protect the actual teachers. Chivalry does exist in some areas. I'm not here trying to condemn I wouldn't say condemn. I'm not here to condemn students or anything, because I know that not all students are like this. Obviously, I was a student at one time myself. I got into fist fights in high school with other students, but never in my mind did I ever think about putting my hands on an actual teacher, as you guys will hear about now.
Like, talk to each other in the morning and motivate each other just to get to work, because we know what we're going to face when we get there. On an everyday basis, I'm deflecting, being attacked, scratched, head-butted, pushed, kicked. I've had my hair pulled and been pulled down to the ground. I've had my throat gone for on multiple occasions. And it's on an everyday basis right now. This is not always the norm, because I certainly didn't expect that, and it wasn't like this when I started a long time ago. There was some discipline problems, but it was not this type of severity. I know that there's laws that protect our kids, and I agree that there has to be laws that protect our kids, but I think it needs to protect all of our kids and our employees. We should be able to go to work and feel safe. And our other children who are witnessing every day, they're witnessing myself and other people being attacked. And also, children have been hurt because they get away from you and they go to harm other students, and it has happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. Now, as I'm talking right now, I'm going to be releasing some photos, which obviously we got to cut away to while I'm talking, that are going to be giving you an idea of some of the stuff that not only teachers but students are actually putting up with. Now, I have already given you guys my thoughts on school shooters and stuff. We'll probably be revisiting that topic at a later date in project form, which is going to be much, much more detailed. And I said that basically what you need to do is you need to actually harden the schools. Now, in the case of actual students acting up and fighting other students, and of course you're seeing some of these, one of these incidents involved a student masturbating and having it recorded, attacking teachers, flipping furniture, teachers have got to move furniture, all that type of stuff there. And we can blame the woke curriculum. However, at the same time, I also blame the parents themselves. No matter what type of bad environment you're in, let me go ahead and explain something to you right quick. I know people who have been on drugs who have raised kids that actually turned out fine. You see, even somebody on drugs can raise a kid right. Most of the students that go to these schools, I would say probably right around 90%, are not going to act up. They're not going to try to act up. They don't want to act up, mostly because they were actually raised right. If the word got back home to their parents would absolutely light them the hell up. However, you have a small fraction, which, by the way, is going to take advantage of this whole woke curriculum, and they're going to take advantage of the fact that teachers by nature are normally older, much, much smaller women. And, of course, they're going to take advantage, even including old men. I mean, the videos are all over Twitter for you guys to actually see. Fact of the matter is that the school boards are not exactly in a position where they can actually do anything because of the woke curriculum. But also at the same time, a lot of this power also falls on the parents as well. For starters, one thing you can do is bring back something like Scared Straight. I mean, think about it really quick. If you really and truly want to get some kids to not do stupid shit and not commit crimes, actually take them not to a jail, take them to an actual prison so they can actually look in the worst areas. See exactly what happens when you commit crime. See exactly what happens when you do stuff. See exactly what is going to be the end result of the lifestyle that you were choosing. And you can choose the worst boys, the worst girls in the school, so that way they can see it. Some, of course, are be sociopathic and say this crap here looks cool. And as I mentioned before, they may even get locked up and actually learn how to do more criminal stuff. But trust me, if you live the life of a criminal, guess what? You eventually are going to get caught, and you eventually are going to have to pay for it. Go ahead and get involved now and start sending these kids to places where they can actually see exactly what awaits them if they continue to go down this path, or they continue to live this type of lifestyle. This right here brings me to another point. No, this sheriff right here is not wrong at all. He's actually 100% correct. I agree with him 100%. Okay, he's 100% correct. Like I said before, I know I've said it like 3 times and I'm kind of repeating myself, but the fact of the matter is that we need to take care of the issue now, so that way these kids don't end up right back in the big house, or worse, possibly dead as a result of this. I mean, you do realize that drugs, poverty, stuff like that right there eventually leads to more crimes down the road. It also leads to people who, quite frankly, could have had very good lives because they had the potential to actually die, actually get killed in the streets, killed by other criminals. I mean, it's sad to see that somebody who was full of potential acts up in high school and eventually chooses a life of crime, and they eventually lose their life as a result of it. Now, guys, with that right there being said, 2 very, very quick things. Number one, I got to tell you guys a quick story, okay, to kind of help you guys understand exactly what this woke stuff is doing. You see, the woke agenda, in my opinion, the biggest downfall or the biggest pitfall of this right here, other than the fact that it's absolutely stupid and wrong, is that there are some people who will game the system and try to get away with things. Let's go back to the Club Q shooter really quick. Club Q shooter was what? He claimed he was non-binary. Anybody looking at that photos could tell you right away that this guy right here was not really non-binary. He was taking advantage of the actual system. He was taking advantage, and he was using it as what? Victim status. He used it to help him get off, okay? Nobody in their right mind believes this individual was non-binary or LGBT. Okay, I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. Go back to the whole bathroom issue. You see the whole biological men going to bathrooms, which, by the way, YouTube's going to find a way to ban us for that right there. Part of the reason for the content change. You got to understand something else, too. These guys were using this as an advantage so that way they could get inside bathrooms where they could actually approach little girls, approach young women, and possibly take advantage of them. You see, there's always nefarious means to go on top of this. Sure, there are people who may have gender dysphoria, and there are people out there who may be somewhat mentally irregular. But at the end of the day, though, this entire thing boils down to nefarious means. Okay, that right is exactly what's happening here. As I said before, the minute that they decided to say at the Supreme Court level that gay marriage was legal on the federal level and protected, I knew right away that a lot of this crap right here would come out. It was a bit of a gateway. It's like you just open the door. The next thing you know, Pandora's box opens, and guess what? All types of crazy crap comes. Now you have wokeness. Now you have kids beating the shit out of one. You have kids actually attacking teachers who may be parents themselves. This right here is as a result of this. It's almost like the libs are starting to wake up to the nightmare that they actually created. And let's just go ahead and be honest, the vast majority of the school board is in fact liberal, and as a result of this, they're paying for this today. Now, nobody's advocating or nobody's actually saying this is a good thing, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean. Now to that story. I know people in the educational field that aren't liberal, and I know people in the educational field that are. I know some people in the educational field that I went to high school with that are friends of mine, and I've spoken to them, and I've asked them how it was, and they've told me things, because I, at one point in time, actually considered it when I was younger. Check this out. One said individual that is close to me personally told me a story that occurred a while back at their school. There is a student, a boy, not a girl, a boy who claims to be gay, who was stalking another student. Okay, and what I mean by stalking another student, was they were sending them text messages and stuff like that, flirting with them, and of course the other student is not gay. So typically when you are a straight kid and some gay kid tries to hook up with you or tries to hit on you, your normal reaction may be to say, dude, get the hell away, or you may do what I've had to do before. You may have to do that right there just to get them the hell away from you. Well, if you do that now, that's called assault. You will go to jail, or you will be in trouble, or you'll be suspended from school. Next thing you know, you're missing all types of work. As a matter of fact, going back to what I said before, it sounds like a bit of a contradiction. Let me go ahead and make this point. If you are a problem child, a suspension is nothing more than a vacation for you. If you're actually a good student, on the other hand, a suspension can be killer because you're being sent home, and you may not get the work that you need to do to keep up with your grades. Okay, just go ahead and throw that out there. So after a while, the gay student continued to take advantage of the fact that you can't do anything to me because of my sexual orientation. And for all we know, that kid was not actually gay, which I think later on was revealed to be that the kid was not gay. This was a bullying technique that he used on the other kid. Cops had to get involved, people had to get involved, and of course, great big giant schmoz, until finally one day the kid who had been getting harassed one day off school property finally got fed up with it, stood up for himself because the issue was not taken care of right then, and next thing you know, guess who the hell gets in trouble? The student who was the actual boy that was being harassed. He is the one who got in trouble. Now that kid, of course, he got out of the issue, thank God, and nothing's going to happen to him. But I'm pretty sure you guys are seeing right now that the wokes can kind of sort of take advantage of the system and take advantage of what the hell is going on. So yes, this woke school curriculum has got a lot to do with what the hell is going on here. And of course, as I said before, I do think that the media, of course, is intensifying this, and they're making this issue 10 times worse than what it is by branding the police officer who says, hey, look, you guys need to go ahead and take care of this now before they end up over here. They're obviously sensationalizing this because guess what? Our media is full of a bunch of psychopaths who just want the next story. Guys, wokeness is killing, and wokeness is killing at an extremely ridiculous rate, okay? And of course, it's infected our schools, even in some of the most conservative states, which, by the way, Brevard County, Florida is not, or that area right there is not exactly a conservative area. I mean, DeSantis didn't win that area. It swings relatively blue. As a matter of fact, DeSantis won every big city in the state of Florida for the exception of Orlando. Just know right away that it can happen at any point in time. You still need to teach your kids to actually defend themselves, if not physically, definitely verbally, and also something else too to the ladies, like always. Make sure you guys learn to actually use a firearm, learn to use a weapon. I don't like hearing about ladies getting raped because these kids, these guys who, by the way, were these type of woke kids who got in trouble constantly, decided to make a move on them that quite frankly resulted in the girl getting hurt, possibly raped, harmed, and injured for the rest of her life. By the way, it's also traumatic. Now, guys, with that right there being said, I'm going to go ahead and shift over to the small updates portion for you guys. And make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also, make sure you guys share the video, leave a comment in the comment section. I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on this, and let's go ahead and roll to that. I touched on this a little bit earlier that I did not want to show the actual video of the fight because of YouTube's terms and services, where their service agreement, I guess what you say, on actual violence itself. As a matter of fact, I've shared a couple of videos like that, and they got age restricted, and then, of course, some of them got deleted outright. You're probably asking yourself, like I said earlier in the video, why did you not put this on Rumble? Well, the reason why I'm not putting it on Rumble is I want to wait to the very first of the year to actually start doing that. Now, guys, we're going to go ahead and start trying to get a project out. I've already got 2 of them almost done. I just got to go in there and actually do the voiceover. The clips and everything are already put together. I just got to do the voiceover for the actual videos itself. We're hoping to have those released right after Christmas. Now, there's probably going to be a couple of videos out on Christmas, and tomorrow, Friday, is going to be a relatively big day for posting. And there's also going to be a video out today on Gear Issue 33. Don't worry, I will leave a link to that channel. I'll also leave a link to Rumble as well. That way you guys can find me over there. Now, the reason why I'm switching to the beginning of the year is because, let's face it, it's first of the year. I don't do New Year's resolutions or anything, but I do think that the New Year is actually a good day to restart something else, which, by the way, we're going to start that. But there is one more thing that it needs to be of note. The 3rd of January, I got to have that procedure done. That procedure is officially gone through. The one I was telling you about with the tooth and whatnot, that's going to be done on the 3rd. It may put me out of action for a couple of days. So look for a project that I did earlier, probably released at some point in time on the 3rd or the 4th. So just know right away that we're going ahead and transition that. But if you're wondering why I'm not posting on Rumble recently, which I've only got 4 followers, but if you want to know why I've not been posting there recently, that's part of the reason why. Also, something else too, first of the year, Facebook page. You guys are seeing this now. Make sure you guys go find it on Facebook, okay? Just type in Claymore. You guys can also follow me on Twitter. Make sure you guys do that right there. I'll start back the first of the year doing that. What I'm probably going to do is go ahead and try to post every day until Christmas Eve itself. I'll probably post a video that I've made a pre-recorded video, like a Christmas message for you guys. Also wanted to kind of piss off the woke. So I just want you guys to go ahead and know that right off the bat. And of course, we're going to try to go ahead and continue to do content just like this right here until New Year's Eve, New Year's Day time frame there. And then we'll start switching over officially to projects itself. And of course, on Gear Sheet 33, of course, we're going straight to military movie reviews. Now, there's going to be more updates and videos tomorrow. I want you guys to know that. So make sure you guys stick around for all three. And we're also going to be using the community tab a lot more as well. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you guys go to the community tab, leave a message, post something, comment on one of the posts, and we're going to start doing that very, very soon. Now, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys have a very good day. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, share the video, and then we're going into the weekend. And I'll see you guys later.